Hey guys, Matt here with Juice Joyrides, and today we have the Velotric Nomad 1 fat tire electric bike, and we're gonna take it out for a cruise on the beach. So the thing that I absolutely love about these fat tire bikes is they can dominate riding in the sand, and skinnier tire bikes just can't do this. Now this one is a 48 volt, 1200 watt max output motor with 75 newton meters of torque. So before we continue our ride on the beach, let me show you how this thing does climbing a hill. In my opinion, one of the best ways to get a feel for how good an e-bike really is to just go to a super steep hill and try throttle only. So let me show you how the Nomad 1 performs climbing a steep hill from a stop under throttle only. All right, going to do the hill test on the Velotric Nomad 1. We're gonna do thumb throttle only, pedal assist 5. Let's see how the 75 newton meters of torque can hold up going up this super steep hill. Not pedaling at all. This bike can handle it with ease. So super powerful hub drive motor with 750 watts continuous power output and 1200 watts peak. And we'll get to the range in just a moment, but before we do that, let's see how well this bike accelerates and what the top speed is. All right, so what we're gonna do here is an acceleration test from 0 to max speed. We're on pedal assist 5. I'm just gonna use the thumb throttle, smash it down. 1200 watts displaying there. And 20. Looks like the controller lets up a little bit as it starts to pick up, but off the line, it shows 1200 watts, full acceleration, immediate response from the thumb throttle. As this bike starts to pick up speed, it appears that the controller eases up on the wattage. And one of the benefits of the controller backing off the acceleration is you're going to get a lot more range out of the bike. Once you hit higher speeds on e-bikes and you're also applying a lot of power, you're going to start cutting into your range significantly. This is a class 2 e-bike, so the bike does top out at about 20 miles per hour, which is pretty fast for a bike that weighs this much. So with all that speed and all that weight, can the bike come to a stop? Excellent brakes. On a fat tire e-bike with this much weight, hydraulic disc brakes are really the only way to go. And the Velotric Nomad 1 does have hydraulic disc brakes and they do work really well. The Nomad 1 has a 48 volt, 14.4 amp hour battery, and multiplying those two numbers out, you get 662 watt hours of energy. According to the official website, you can get up to 55 miles of range. However, with all of the weight and the power of the Nomad 1, you're probably going to have to put in a lot of work on your own to get that much range. Later in this video, we'll see how well we do on this ride in terms of range. Another thing that's going to influence how much range you get is how well you use the 8-speed Shimano gear shifter on this bike. This does have a Shimano gear set, and I like that the shifters are underneath the handlebar. So there are 8 speeds on this bike. I can bring it down to like a stop and show you. Moving slow. Gear 1 is perfect for going really slow. And then the gear shift up very easily. The upshifter is back here behind the handlebars. The range on these fat tire bikes are always going to be a little bit less than what you would get on like their other model, the Discover 1. Probably get a little more range out of that one. Discover 1's a little more nimble, but I mean the trade-offs are, you know, you get these big fat tires and a stronger motor. So the 750 watt continuous watt output motor, you can really feel that power is stronger than like the 500 watt models. But these fat tires, they grip well in the sand, on the concrete. So a lot of bikes, you know, skinnier tire bikes, you got to be really careful out here about sliding out. These fat tire bikes, like on the Nomad 1 from Velotric, grip nicely. But really where the Nomad 1 shines is its ability to ride anywhere. Very few e-bikes I review are able to actually ride out on the sand, by the water, by the beach. But the Nomad 1 can handle it with no problem. And this is largely because of the 4-inch fat tires, but also because of the strong 75 newton meter torque motor and the bike's ability to consistently output a high wattage number. Now I know most people don't live right next to a sandy beach and they're not going to be riding their bike on the sand, but I really like to use it as a good reference point, as a torture test kind of, because riding in soft, loose packed sand is pretty much some of the harshest conditions you're going to ride a bike in. Also is kind of just fun. Touching on the pedal assist modes, pedal assist 1 will bring you up to about 10 miles per hour, and that doesn't matter if you smash on the thumb throttle or not. So if you bump it on up to pedal assist 2, that'll bring you up a little bit faster to 11 or 12 miles an hour, 11.5. Pedal assist 3 will give you an immediate boost in power up to 13, 14 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4, you really start to feel that power coming on, and the display does show you the power right there. We're moving at 16.5 miles an hour, and then we can bump it on to max pedal assist 5, and that'll bring us all the way up to 20 miles per hour. So these fat tire bikes, they're always a blast to ride. They're fun. I love that you can take them anywhere. You know, take them out in the sand, take them on the grass, and this does have front suspension, which is adjustable. You can lock it out by rotating this dial all the way this way, and now it's locked out, and then you can loosen it up with clicks to pretty soft. I mean, this makes the suspension its softest setting, and there's also a preload on the left side. The suspension on the front fork definitely isn't anything to write home about, but it definitely helps mellow out a lot of the bumps and imperfections in the road while you're riding. I probably wouldn't be using this bike to be like jumping stairs and that sort of thing, but for a bike at this price point, I think the suspension is perfectly sufficient. Which, speaking of price, this bike costs about $1,600, but right now it's on sale for $1,400, and I do have a discount link for you below this video in the description box. And if you did use that discount code, it will help you save money as well as help support this channel. When you click on that link, it'll bring you over to the official website where you can choose either the step-thru or the high-step version of the Nomad 1. A lot of people like to choose the step-thru frame because it's easier to get on and off the bike. But if you plan on doing a lot of intense riding, you might be better off with the high-step frame because it does offer a little bit more rigidity in the frame. Whether or not you choose the step-thru or the high-step version of this bike, there are several color options available. And the color you see in this video is the indigo gray, which I personally think is beautiful. It's definitely a beautiful electric bike. I love the color of this one. It's very nice looking e-bike. When you order an electric bike from Velotric online, it'll come shipped to your house in a box that looks just like this. It comes with all the tools and really detailed instructions actually how to build the bike, which is kind of rare in this industry. So you don't need any extra tools to build the bike, but you will need an air pump to maybe put a little bit of air in the tires. Everything comes packaged like super well. Paint is well protected. If you're somewhat handy, it'll probably take you about an hour to build the bike, and really it's not too difficult. And in case you're wondering, the Nomad 1 comes with a headlight as well as a tail light. So I've been out here riding for a couple hours now, pretty much been maxing this thing out the whole time I've been riding. You know, I'm going 20 miles an hour, pedal assist 5, launching from a stop pretty much every time. And let's see what kind of range I have been getting. I'll take off here again, putting out just over 1,000 watts of power here with 2 bars of battery remaining. Tabbing on over here, we can see we are at 15.6 miles and down to 2 bars. Now I have really been putting this thing through its paces, riding it off-road in the sand, you know, pretty much about the most intense riding conditions this thing would ever be put through, really. So the manufacturer does say you can do about 55 miles of range. I can see you doing 55 miles of range, but you're gonna have to be putting in more effort on your own and not just smashing down on that thumb throttle and using pedal assist 5 the whole time and running the tires on low PSI like I was doing. Also, I weigh 195 pounds, so if you weigh less than that, you'll see better performance out of this bike all around. So Velotric did send the Nomad over for me to review. I had a great time reviewing this bike. If you're interested in checking it out, link in the description box. It will give you a discount code off of your purchase and also help support Juice Joyrides. To sum this Velotric Nomad 1 review up, I think this is a great fat tire electric bike. The 14.4 amp hour battery is sufficient to get good range. The hydraulic disc brakes feel really good to grip, and they bring the bike to a stop quickly, especially considering how much fat tire electric bikes weigh. The 3 amp charger is more than you get on the typical budget bike. The Shimano 8-speed shifter on this bike is plenty of gears to help you climb hills and get up the top speed of 20 miles per hour. The 750 watt continuous output motor is strong enough to climb hills and navigate through the sand on the beach and off-road terrain just fine. And the 75 newton meters of torque with 1200 watts max output from that motor is sufficient power. The front suspension will isolate you from the bumps in the road, making for a comfortable ride that you can get good range. And of course, the beautiful color options offered in the Velotric bikes. Velotric does offer a 1-year warranty on their bikes and also a 14-day trial period. Check the link below the video to check out the Nomad 1.